A while back, someone commented on one of my videos telling me that I should 100% an ancient city. And I immediately wrote it off because, first of all, what does 100%ing an ancient city even mean? And second of all, ancient cities are easy because you can shift the entire time if you want. And moreover, if the warden spawns, just ignore it. Just move away. It's so easy. But recently I've been thinking about it, and so with lots of hard work and some very specific rule adjustments, I have created a new challenge to torment myself with. Hi, I'm Cornmilk. This is my channel, and I like 100%ing things, specifically Minecraft structures. But this, an ancient city, is the kind of Minecraft structure where that you can't just 100% by killing all the mobs in it. Because first of all, most mobs don't spawn, it's just the warden. And second of all, the warden is not designed to be killed. Mojang specifically designed it to be something to be evaded, a challenge, not a murder hobo spree. So, we're gonna have to find a new definition of 100%, and that new goal is to loot 100% of an ancient city, meaning to get all of the loot from all of the chests. Now, I don't mean I actually have to keep all the loot from all the chests, because if you've ever tried to loot an ancient city, you know that there is a lot of loot and you would probably need shulkers, and I'm doing this with no outside materials, no shulker boxes for me. I'm going in with literally nothing. I am just putting myself in creative, getting myself to the nearest ancient city, putting myself in survival. There are a couple other steps I'll get into, and then I'm just going to try and 100% and loot that ancient city. Now, you might be thinking, Corn, that doesn't solve the fact that you could shift the entire time or, just avoid the warden. And so I'm like, yeah, that's right. You know what? Let's make it harder. Let's make it so I can't shift. I am going to unbind my shift key, so I literally cannot shift. And moreover, it's not going to be, I don't have to worry about the warden. You know why I don't have to worry about the warden? Because if a single shrieker goes off, I fail the challenge. I'm also going to be in hardcore. Not that that super matters because the things that could kill me would be my own stupidity, like falling off of things, but that's an added challenge. And it's not even, it's going to be my modified version of hardcore where I'm locked in the hard game mode and I quit the world if I die. So basically, I just can't die. That's an added thing. If I die, I fail. So just as an overview of this challenge, I need to loot 100% of an ancient city without any outside materials, without dying to my own stupidity, without being able to shift, and if I set off any skulk shriekers, it's game over. Also, I won't be using cheats, which is to say, I will be using cheats in the beginning to locate the nearest ancient city, get myself there, put myself in survival and everything, and I'll be using cheats to check my work at the end, but I will not be using cheats in the middle because this is a challenge, gosh darn it, and that means that I'm not using cheats. What? This is supposed to be like hardcore, No, 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 no. If I was actually in hardcore, I wouldn't be able to use cheats, so we aren't using cheats in the middle. It's just the beginning and the end to check my work. Also, this isn't all the footage. It took me 2 hours. You think I'm putting it out without edits? No, no, no. However, if you really want to see the unedited footage, it will be linked in a video in the description, as always. It's not going to be fully unedited because there are bits I have to mute for privacy reasons, but there won't be anything cut from it. Also, please don't hate me, but I'm using night vision for this, because let me just say, I did a full run, I completed it without night vision, but then when I was trying to edit the footage, it looked disgusting. I have made so many community posts about this, so, look, this is for you guys, okay? This is supposed to be a video, so yeah, the night vision is necessary, and I have also beaten it without the night vision, so yeah, I'm gonna have permanent night vision because otherwise the footage looks terrible. Here, have some of my terrible footage. It's like you can't see anything, and even when I turn the contrast and brightness all the way up, you still really can't see anything. Also, you might notice I was playing with subtitles on. That's so if I had to mute a section for privacy reasons, you would be able to tell that a shrieker didn't go off and I wasn't covering anything up. Now, that has been a lot of explanation in very little video, so I'm just going to quickly summarize everything I just said in a text blurb, and then we'll be off. And with all that out of the way, let's get into it. We start where all worlds start, in the Create a World menu, because that's where all worlds start. And as you can see, I am naming it Ancient City Hardcore Run, even though I kind of messed up the M and N and then had to go back and fix it. And I'm making it creative and putting it in hard. And it's creative, so I can do my version of hardcore, where, I can actually use cheats to find what I'm looking for, the Ancient City. Then put myself in Spectator, teleport myself there, lock the game difficulty on hard, and then here's where I'm turning on the subtitles and accessibility settings. The next thing I'm doing is giving myself infinite night vision because as I showed earlier, if I don't have night vision, then this video looks terrible. And I had considered other options, but it didn't quite work out, what with my computer overheating and everything, and the community poll said y'all would rather just have the video out. So here, having the video out, night vision. Right now in the footage, you'll see me going down and landing. I picked the big fake portal for my start point because I knew it was guaranteed to be in every city. And then what I'm doing is going into my settings and I'm unbinding my shift key from sneak so I won't be able to sneak and shift like I normally would. As a matter of fact, I won't be able to sneak at all and I have rendered my shift key useless. And then all that's left is to put myself in survival and actually start. There is a sensor in front of me. That is not ideal, but it is manageable because there isn't a shrieker directly attached to it, so if I move, it's not going to end the challenge. What I need to do is get to wool so I don't have to be worried about sensors, or at least I can worry less about sensors and worry more about getting enough wool so that I don't have to worry about sensors. And the wool is over there, so I just need to be fast and hope there isn't a sensor and a shrieker on my way there. Lucky for me, there isn't a shrieker, which means A, the challenge isn't over, and B, now I need to get as much wool as I physically can, because wool is everything. Wool is the difference between success and failure, between looting a chest and hearing a shrieker, between life and death itself. Wool is the only thing that makes this challenge possible, because it's the only thing that dampens sounds that isn't sneaking. And well, one of the rules of this challenge is I can't sneak, so yeah. Wool is really, really important. Really, really important. So important, as a matter of fact, the first half an hour of my footage is literally just me collecting wool. I recorded for 2 hours, so that is a full quarter of my footage, not even counting the times in the future I'm gonna have to go back and get more wool. Because while the goal in this original stint was to get as much wool as possible so I wouldn't need to go back to get more wool, I failed miserably at that, and in the future we'll need to go and just scrounge up more wool. That's the thing about wool in an ancient city. You always need more. But I didn't know I was gonna need more wool, so I just started looting chests. It's more resource efficient to walk on carpet than it is to walk on wool in an ancient city because 2 wool is 3 carpet, so I crafted some of my wool into carpet and headed towards a structure that I knew had a chest. It was one of those tower ones with the ladders on the inside where the ladders are a trap because they'll make noise and set off sensors, but I had a couple of solutions to that. One of which was the tower I went to didn't actually have a ton of skulk by it, and the other one was that I was going to tower up the side using some of my very nice, very helpful wool. And there weren't any sensors, let alone shriekers, at the top of that tower, so I just broke the chest and looted the stuff. All in all, it was a very easy first heist, especially considering that there were no sensors or shriekers, but the next one had both sensors and shriekers, meaning it was a lot harder. When encountering a shrieker or a sensor in Ancient City, I use what I like to call the box it up method, i.e. surround it in wool so nothing gets in and nothing gets out. But the problem with this one was that, first of all, there were a lot of things that I needed to make sure that nothing got in and nothing got out, and second of all, some of them were harder than others. You see, some of them were on skulk, and the thing is, I can't break that block to replace it with wool, and the vibrations can travel through the skulk, so it just means it's a lot harder to box it in. So I gave up on trying to box the sensor and switched to trying to box in the chest, because if the chest vibration can't reach the sensors, that is the same thing as the sensor not being able to reach the chest. It gives me the same outcome, and not only is this one easier to pull off, it's a lot more likely to work. There were also a bunch of sensors and shriekers directly behind the chest, so I walled in that side with wool as well. And once I deemed it high enough and was satisfied with my wool fortifications, I went and I looted the chest. The chest after that was another tower, easily defeated by just climbing the side with a bunch of wool. But after that came a new kind of challenge. Not a box it in, or a climb around it, but rather a, can we get rid of this altogether? There wasn't a whole lot of skulk by the chest, and there was only one shrieker. There were sensors, but only one shrieker. So what if I just went and broke the shrieker? Sure, the sensors would go off, but that didn't mean anything. Just as I had predicted, the sensors went off, but no shriekers did, because I had just broken the shrieker. And then I broke a sensor, just for revenge's sake. And after that, I finally looted the chest, you know, the point of this entire thing. So now you've experienced all 4 of my strategies, because really there are only 4. Everything in an ancient city can be dealt with some combination of those 4 tactics. The 4 tactics being box it up, where the it in question is a skulk sensor. Box it up, where the it in question is the chest. Climb around it, because actually there's nothing around it, just get around it, which is generally useful more for towers than anything else. And then, of course, my personal favorite, but also the riskiest, just break the shrieker and hope nothing goes wrong. The reason it's the riskiest is because just because you can't see any shriekers doesn't mean there aren't shriekers, it just means you can't see them, because sometimes they're hidden under other skulk things which you can't break to see, and then they go off and they ruin your run, and I'm not bitter at all. Besides, this run was going really well. It was going really well because I hadn't messed anything up. That is pretty much the benchmark of going really well. Because in an ancient city, it's not like you can be like, oh, I was very close to dying. If you're close to dying, that is a you problem. Like, really, that is a you problem. But it wasn't like some of my other challenges where you can have a benchmark for how well you're doing. It was more like a just having to check things off a list because ancient cities are big. There's a reason it took me 2 hours. It's not like I was dawdling. It was that I had to check every inch of that ancient city and get all of the chests. And there were just a lot of them. And it was taking so long that I actually started sort of losing my mind a little bit. And when I say that, it's because in this footage right here, you'll see I'm going towards an area that has literally no sensors, no skulk whatsoever. And then you might notice I start putting down carpet because I kid you not, I heard a sensor go off. Clearly it didn't because in the subtitles nothing happened, but I heard a sensor. I swear to you, I heard a sensor. Phantom sensors aside, I was also losing my mind because I was having to do like the same thing over and over and over and over and over, which is just, loop the city, go over, look around, see where the sensors are, decide how you're going to deal with it, loot the chest, da-da-da, do it all over again. But then, closer to the end, there was another light at the end of the tunnel, because of course the light at the end of the tunnel was like finishing the challenge, but another one appeared. It was a structure that was kind of buried in the wall, like it was part of the ancient city, but part of it had generated buried in the wall. And that was interesting, especially when you've spent like the past hour, 45 minutes doing the same things over and over. That's interesting. And it posed a unique challenge because I know my ancient city structures. That structure has 2 chests, but both of them were buried in the wall, so I was going to need to do a little bit of excavation, put on my archaeologist hat, to find those chests. And to do that efficiently, I should probably make tools. But that's not what I did. I immediately started punching the deep slate, and once the first one broke and I didn't hear a sensor go off, I figured the entire thing was probably fine, because there wasn't a ton of skulk on that side, and it wasn't like there was going to be skulk sort of buried in the wall like that, probably, hopefully. So I just kept going. I just kept punching it with my fists until I realized actually, it was the thought that I was gonna how much I was gonna have to speed it up in post that got me to realize maybe I should finally make some tools. Now, tools require wood, for many reasons, one of which being a crafting table, and luckily enough, ancient cities do have wood. It's just that they're ancient cities, and the wood is generally in like very skulky areas with lots of sensors, and it's not like I can break wool in an ancient city, and the skulk sensors don't care. Breaking wood, just one letter makes all the difference. Breaking wood is a problem. The thing is, I need at least 9 planks to make a pickaxe, so I gotta break some wood. But if I'm gonna break wood, I'm gonna break wood in the way that breaks the fewest number of blocks, which is to say, I am going to break a log and then turn that into planks. I'm actually gonna do that twice. But then for the last one, it honestly doesn't matter, I just need 9, so I am breaking 2 logs to turn into planks and 1 plank, and we're gonna hope that nothing gets set off when I do that. Something does go off, but it's a sensor, so we're fine. Well, that the sensor part isn't the bit that's fine, because like if a shrieker went off, it would also be related to the sensor. But no, basically, it's fine because a shrieker doesn't go off. That is the end of that statement, yes. So I just need 1 more wooden plank because I have 2 logs, that's 8, 9 minus 8 is 1. I get my last wooden plank, and I'm ready to start crafting. I'm not doing anything fancy, I am literally just making a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe, but it feels fancy because it's a new thing for me to be doing. So I make myself a nice wooden pickaxe, and then I go back to excavating the buried bit of the ancient city, trying to find those chests. So I go digging around. I go digging around for a nice long while, because even though I know that there are 2 chests in this structure, and I know kind of vaguely where they are, it's sort of hard to figure out where something is or supposed to be when it's all like sort of buried and filled in. It's hard to tell what things are supposed to be what things. But I was doing my best to just sort of follow like the blocks that were very clearly not naturally generated deep slate and just sort of follow that to find myself where the rooms were supposed to be, because it's kind of hard to tell where the room is supposed to be when everything is filled in. So I figured I would just follow the floor blocks and the wall blocks when they were there and sort of try and hollow out the entire thing. But while I was working on hollowing out the entire thing, I found something very, very interesting. Huh. So yeah, there was a trial chamber in my ancient city, but did I care? No! I was just gonna go and make myself a new pickaxe, a stone pickaxe this time, and continue looking for chests, because I have already made a video about 100%ing a trial chamber, and that is not this video. This video is about getting all of the loot chests in an ancient city, gosh darn it, and so if I have to tear this structure apart, not real brick by not real brick, because it's just the deep slate, I'm not actually breaking the structure itself. I want those chests, gosh darn it. And after a good long while digging, I did find them. Also a diamond, which was terrible, because I had a stone pickaxe, and it was a diamond, why? Why? But whatever, what matters is the chest. I'm here to loot chests. It doesn't matter that there was a diamond and I had a stone pickaxe, whatever. I looted the chest, I found the chest, that's what matters. Done. Except not done, because there was still another chest I needed to excavate out of this structure. But I found it pretty quickly. So, that was fine. And there wasn't a diamond by this one, so it was much less emotionally upsetting. And then after that, all I had to do were last checks. And you might be thinking, Corn, wait a minute, you've shown yourself, like, doing 3 or 4 or 5 chests, but wasn't this a big ancient city? And I would say yes, but also, might I repeat, 2 hours of footage. Might I repeat, very repetitive. Might I repeat, it was boring for me to be editing, and I was the one playing. So, if you really want to see more of me doing basically the same thing in the ancient city, guess what? That video in the description, that unlisted video, that's for you. But we're gonna move along now to the bit where I forget that I cannot shift and almost mess everything up right at the end. You see, I've been doing my last checks. I went all around the ancient city again on my carpet. Very nice, very fine. I did not see any chests I had missed. So I start going back towards the center, because I think, you know what, I'll get the high ground. I'll stand on top of that big fancy, like, fake portal thing I started at, and I'll have a look around, and I won't see any chests, and then I'll check in Spectator. So I'm going over there, and I'm trying to climb up, and I have the thought, hey, I'll just bridge across. But it's kind of really hard to bridge when you cannot shift. And boy howdy I am lucky there, because even though I landed on wool, I took damage, and if there was a shrieker there, this challenge would have been over right when I had finally finished everything, and that would have been terrible. But it wasn't. It wasn't over. And I almost made the same mistake again of just trying to build up and bridge across, or even just bridging across. I don't know why I thought I could do that. I can. And so finally it occurred to me that maybe I should just go on the flat ground and then build up after. So I did that. And even though it was slower than bridging across would have been, I couldn't bridge across. Or at least, I'm not good at bridging across when I can shift. So that was a moot point. And I ended up where I wanted to be anyway. So, like, it worked out. I had a last look around and didn't see any chests I'd missed, so I decided, you know what? Let's check. Okay, so I think I got them all. Now, let's actually check. Oh, and I should probably also be able to shift now. No, not caps lock. Shift. Thank you. So here I go checking around in Spectator for any chests I might have missed, and as you can probably tell by the fact that this is a video you're seeing, I did not miss any chests because I'm just that good. I did it. I did it. Hey! And then, just as I was congratulating myself, I remembered a secret room in the ancient city. Wait, oh. I said there aren't chests here, right? So yeah, I completely forgot about that hidden redstone room. But luckily enough, it doesn't have chests, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, no chests. Hey. So I did it. I completed the challenge. I 100% in an ancient city without being able to shift, without any outside materials, without dying, and without setting off a shrieker, even once. I didn't set off a single shrieker. And if you're still watching, I'd like to thank you, because I'm gonna be honest, this video has been rough. Not because it was hard to do, no, it was honestly pretty chill, but the editing process, I've been having some computer troubles. My computer has been consistently overheating when I'm trying to do things. And right now, I can already feel it getting hot, so after I record this clip, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna give it a break again. So my computer is it's having issues, and hopefully we're gonna fix them. But I want to thank everyone for their patience with this, because I said it was gonna come out on Friday, and this video has not come out on Friday, clearly. So thank you for your patience. Hopefully I figure out my computer issues, and we don't get the overheating problems, and we don't get OBS crashing on me all the time, because that happened too. So thank you, and I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you in my corner of the internet sometime soon. See you next time, maybe.